Welcome, loyal officer of the Empire. You have been given this guide to help you and your men under your command to better understand the geography of Skyrim. Skyrim is organised into 9 holds. A hold is a large area of land, roughly the equivalent to a county back in Cyrodiil. Each hold is governed by a Jarl who maintains his court in the hold's capital city. 4 of these holds are fairly small and sparsely populated. As a result, the capitals are little more than towns. The 5 major holds of Skyrim act as the capitals for the larger holds. Following is a detailed review of each hold. Located at the eastern reaches of Skyrim, East March shares a common border with Morrowind. Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak rules from the ancient city of Winterhold, and he and his followers should be considered your most serious threat. Do not tread lightly in East March, for the Stormcloaks are at their strongest and their most organised in these lands. As an Imperial soldier, you will find few friends here. Solitude, the seat of High King of Skyrim, and the capital of Hafengar hold, and it's always welcomed the Empire with open arms. Much commerce flows along the rivers here, and you will find the folk of this hold to be among the most hospitable in Skyrim. As you venture forth in your campaign, be sure to maintain a secure supply line back to Solitude. The Empire maintains ample provisions in the castle tower, from which General Tullius commands all the legions stationed in Skyrim. Kyra March is divided evenly between windswept tundra dotted with farms and a huge stinking salt marsh. There is little of interest here, save perhaps for the hold's capital, Morthal. The Jarl, Egrod Ravencrone, has been cooperative enough with the Empire in the past, but will ultimately look out for her own interests if put in a difficult position. While the hold offers minimum strategic value to the Empire, it would make an ideal staging ground for a Stormcloak siege of Solitude, and so must be held against the enemy. The Pale is a barren realm covered by vast fields of ice and snow. Its boundaries stretch from the centre of Skyrim all the way to the northern coast. Here, at the capital city of Dawnstar, can be found one of the busiest ports in the province. With access to the coastal waterways of Skyrim, Dawnstar could prove vital in the war effort. Should the Stormcloaks choose to attack Solitude from the river, this port would make a tempting target due to its close proximity. Dominating the western border of Skyrim, the Reach is made up almost entirely of steep, craggy mountains. Little grows in this forbidden realm, but the capital city of Markarth is a nigh impregnable stone fortress that would make an excellent defensive position for either side of the war. Be aware of this dangerous region of Skyrim, as it's home to the Forsworn, the rebellious natives of the Reach. They know the terrain, can strike without warning, and count the Empire as enemy. If they attack you, you must neither give nor expect any mercy. The Rift occupies the southeast corner of Skyrim, and much like the Reach, in the west, it's dominated by tall mountain peaks. The climate in the Reach is milder than in the northern holds. and there is more vegetation to be found here. Farming thrives as a result. A word of warning about Riften though, the Hold capital city. Our agents have reason to suspect that the Thieves Guild makes it home here, though it is now much diminished from its strength in previous years. Nevertheless, mind that your men keep an eye on their coin purses should they have reason to spend any length of time in the city. The central hold, Whiterun, is characterised by wide grassy plains that are home to numerous farms. Many roads pass through Whiterun, joining more distant holds together. The hold's capital city, also called Whiterun, sits high on a rocky promontory, amid a large flat swath of scrubland. Among the wealthiest cities of Skyrim, Whiterun has usually proven friendly to the Emperor's soldiers. Winterhold is a bleak and snow-blown hold in the northeast corner of Skyrim, and it's utterly inhospitable. Perhaps the mages at the College of Winterhold chose to make their home there, because they knew they would be left largely alone. As with Whiterun, the name Winterhold describes both the hold and the capital city, though the word city hardly applies. The hold capital is a meagre village, but built near the Mages' College. Few other noteworthy settlements exist in this frozen waste, and it's unlikely to play any significant part in the war. Now strangely my favourite hold Falkreath seems to be missing from this book, and I thought that might be a mistake by the developers, and I had a look online, and there seems to be no real answer. It could be that despite Falkreath Hold being a part of Skyrim, it was once a part of Cyrodiil. Falkreath Hold is covered in pine forests, and is described by its citizens as being covered in a fine mist which makes it seem seasonless. The mountains rising above Falkreath are well above the snowline, striking a stark comparison to the rest of the hold. The most distinguishing geographic feature is Lake Illinalta, which covers a large portion of the central region and acts as a source for the White River. In the town of Falkreath there lays a huge graveyard, which represents years of warfare between the borders. And due to this clear presence of death throughout history, the forest hold has naturally gathered a reputation for being haunted.